I had all these visions that we were going to be a perfect family.
And once I found stand-up, I had a feeling about it, and I really loved it.
I could be the grandmother that did everything, spoiled them.
And I thought that it was safe when it was everything but safe.
Now I have to be the mother. I have to say no.
The minute that I was assaulted, I decided I'm not going to be quiet about this.
The minute Amanda died, our lives changed forever.
Just the list of ingredients.
My name is Mary Ann. Ariana is my granddaughter. Ariana is delightful. Amanda was married to my son, Mark, and thus my daughter-in-law. She was loving, kind. All she wanted to do was be a mother. Her personality began to change after she gave birth to my grandson. She went down into a very deep and dark place. She said that everything was gray and that all she wanted to do was sleep. I called Amanda just to tell her that I was leaving work and I would be there 30 minutes. And it was then Ariana answered and screaming and crying. Amanda collapsed and fell on Marky. I've never felt that level of fear ever in my life. When I arrived, she had already been transported to the hospital. She was in intensive care. Amanda actually took a large volume of Xanax. I asked her, "Did you try and kill yourself, Amanda?" And she just shook her head. Yes, up and down. Her eyes filled up with tears, and she just said she was so sad. It's hard to understand how someone would want to take their life with 2 children. I felt a level of devastation and the unknown. I had hoped that she would get care. I never wanted this to happen again, never. I thought she was improving, Amanda was improving, but she wasn't. The day before Thanksgiving, I had Ariana and Marky. Later in the evening, Amanda said to my son Mark, in a very happy tone, "Oh, I have to go get one more thing for Mom's tomorrow." And she went to the store. Maybe 3 minutes, 4 minutes later, she texts him, "I'm so sorry, Marky. I'm so sorry. The car is at racetrack." My son called me bawling. "Mom, I don't know what to do." They drove to the racetrack. There was an officer there. The one gentleman wrapped his arms around Mark and then proceeded to say Amanda was gone, that she had jumped off the Gibsonton overpass onto 75. I fell to my knees. It was like someone punched the air out of me. And I couldn't think, I couldn't breathe. I have never experienced that feeling with a death before. You cannot imagine what it's like to have to tell your granddaughter, who's 5 years old, that her mother's dead. But I had always known of the crisis center. I never expected that we would use them. Step Care Study is a program that is geared for children who have suffered from grief and trauma. And the Crisis Center has partnered with USF. They recommend you have to face everything and you have to talk about it. Anytime Ariana heard sirens, she actually became so anxious and started sobbing. And the counselor recognized that from the crisis center and asked a supervisor from TransCare if she wouldn't mind letting Ariana go through one of the ambulances and have her explain to her every aspect of the ambulance. I didn't realize what an impact that one thing would make. Ariana became so comfortable with those sounds that they don't traumatize her anymore. Ariana wouldn't even talk about her mother. And now we talk about her all the time. I have my Ariana back. And it's wonderful, because it would never have happened without the crisis center, ever.
Please give it up for your host, Miss Melissa Nicholas.
My name is Melissa. I'm 20 years old and I'm a stand-up comedian.
So anyway, to talk about more hilarious things like crisis and trauma.
What fulfills me the most about stand-up, I think it's my ability to talk directly to people. People say, how can you do that? And I say, I can't not do it. I was at an open mic show, and I had met somebody, and I had heard previously about them that night, that they were great, they're popular, you know, they're one of the main professionals in the comedy scene, and obviously, like anything, you look up to the people who are the professionals. And he seemed to take an interest in me. We talked a little bit, and he asked me if I wanted to come over and that he would help me with my stand-up. When somebody is friends with all of your friends and very highly respected by the people that you love and respect, you're not suspicious of them. I was asking if it was something sexual, if it was, like, basically if I was gonna be safe. I made it casual, but it was my question. I was very upfront about it. And he told me I had nothing to worry about and that I was safe with him. I got there, and for the first hour or so, everything was fine. Like, we were actually just going through my notes. He turned the TV on, and he sat down next to me. Which of course at first that's fine. So he had laid down, and then I was just kind of sitting and I wasn't really sure what was happening. After a few minutes, he just started taking my clothes off. I asked him, "What are you doing?" And there was never a reply. My inner voice was just kind of freaking out, going, no, what's happening? He's a lot bigger than me. And not just physically, but my whole world was stand-up. And then I thought, would I get away? I don't know if I would, you know? Once I figured out I'm being raped, I shut down. And it's like you become a mummy. I was just waiting for it to be over. The next day, I had come home from work and I was just crying in my in my driveway, and I didn't know why. And I was like, "What happened to me? What happened to me that I'm crying?" And I said, "Oh my God, I was raped. I was sexually assaulted." And I didn't know what to do. And I told my mom. And the thing that stuck out most in my mind, this was not the only thing that she said that really hurt my feelings, but the things that stuck out the most in my mind was she told me that it was as much of my fault as it was his. And I called 211, and I talked to a woman on the phone, and within 30 minutes, I was leaving to go get my exam. And my advocate from the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay was probably one of the biggest forces for my life. They taught me how to take care of myself so I could do it. Because when something like this happens to you, it's up to you. Because you can let it break you, or you can move forward. I really, really feel like that's an important thing to explain to people about the Crisis Center and 211 is you don't have to, your house doesn't have to be on fire. You can just need somebody. You know, sometimes you just need somebody. And I know I will always have that.
I'd move a mountain for Ariana. And with the Crisis Center, I didn't have to move a mountain. I just had to go.
I can be an advocate to women because somebody was my advocate.
I can't even begin to thank them. What they've done for my victim.
I'm Melissa. I'm a rape survivor, and I'm not afraid anymore.
My name is Mary Ann, and my family and I will be fine.